Hello, Reese from the Point Music Podcast thingy. Yeah, that one took it out of me. Got a very cool one. This has been a long time coming. We've been trying to tee this one up for like nearly 4 years, believe it or not. You know, just never eventuated until now. The Dreggs, absolutely killing it on the scene right now. Touring all over the place, and they have an album finally after all these singles. So In A Reverie comes out on April 26th. So by the time you listen or watch this podcast, it should be out, or we might just do it just beforehand. Anyway, great album. If you love all that folky stuff, they've got it nailed, and the Dreggs have deserved their massive following they've been accruing over the last half a decade. So we managed to chat with Paddy, one half of the Dreggs. So I really hope you enjoy this chat. We talk about the album, we talk about touring life, and why you should get to the airport early. Anyway, enjoy this chat with Paddy from the Dreggs. Rolling. We have Paddy from the Dreggs. Okay, so this has been a long time coming. I've been trying to tee up a fucking podcast with one of you. You or Zane for like, it's ever since the podcast began back in 2020, and it's just been like, yeah, never eventuated. And now we finally got you. Well, one of yous.
Finally here.
Finally. Well done on Peeps with the Goods, man. And I've been, okay, so this, just a disclaimer, this podcast is being pre-recorded before the release of the actual album In A Reverie, but I've actually been able to sneak of the actual full album thanks to your publicist, so we get to talk about it ahead of the release.
Cool.
So well done on the album. It's very, you guys have had a gamut of singles ever since you come on the scene, and it's just those singles alone could just be, you should just put them into a best of and release a fucking album. But now finally you've got this whole anthology of songs. You've already released 4 tracks: Places, Peeps with the Goods, my brain's going a little bit funny, For Your Love, and Take a Little Time. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So how's this feel to finally put all this other stuff together?
Oh, it is going to be the most satisfying feeling. It's been a long time coming. We've through every fault of our own, we've been teasing this album for so long. The album actually started off as a 4-track EP, and then it went to a 6-track EP, and then it went to a 8-track album, and now it's a 12-track album. And the reason why it's just taken so long is because we've wanted to do it right, and we've been hit up here and there by a few deals, and we just want to we really wanted to do it the right way, and so we've taken a while. So it's kind of all this pent up angst about it is finally about to wash over, which is nice. So yeah, we're so excited to get it out.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised you've actually had the time to actually put all these tracks together, given how fucking busy you guys have been. I was just doing a stalk through your Instagram, and I've known of you guys, and you know that I've known you guys for a very long time. And I remember sitting in the front of Soul Bar and just on a Sunday afternoon, and it was you and Zane just playing at the front bar for three hours. Until there would have been at least a maximum of 10 of us just sitting there having a beer and just watching you play. And now you're headlining. Well, I did see a headline festival. Was it the Jetty one? With Coterie?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You got that one, plus your album launch party's all sold out, and just this has got to be mind blowing for you guys. Seriously.
It's awesome. Obviously, we're so incredibly lucky to be doing what we're doing. And we're so grateful, and we're really proud about how far along we've come. It can get stressful though. We've been touring nonstop for so long, and as much as we love it, it's sometimes we do have to kind of remind ourselves to just take a break every now and then. And Yeah, that's why it's been good getting this album sorted because it's as much as you said before, we've got a gamut of singles, and that's because we've only really ever had time to write and release singles. But it's been a nice process taking a step back from being so busy and actually placing our busyness into a different area and actually creating an album and
Yeah.
something that we're actually proud of as well.
I mean, the whole releasing singles thing is basically a stock standard thing, pardon me, for artists to do these days. I mean, I've been guilty of it. Um,
Mm.
because the art form of the album tends to really be more of a slightly narcissistic kind of thing for the actual artists themselves, as well as a thank you to the fans, because not
Mm.
everyone really sort of goes and does a deep dive into albums as much as what they used to, right?
Mm.
So, do you feel the same way with that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is kind of funny. I suppose it is quite a narcissistic thing, isn't it, when you
Mm-hmm.
think about it? This album that we've got coming out is it's a very personal album. There's a lot of very personal stories and written in a way for the listener to digest it. But yeah, I suppose yeah, for that reason it's quite narcissistic. It's scary though. I suppose because it's our debut album, first
Yep.
time releasing an album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been long awaited, but it's nerve-wracking because we have made it so personal.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not every day that you write a personal diary and then you just give it to some random in the street and say, "Here, read this."
Should try
So
that.
yeah, yeah, let's try. Well, we are.
No, I meant like I'd just do a random one out the street and just basically hit up people and just go, "Hey, read these thoughts for me for a second. I would like to know your thoughts."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do fully get that. I know the feeling when it comes to releasing an album, and when you're releasing a whole heap of singles, they're the ones that everyone sort of falls in love with, and they know verbatim basically, and they're singing back to you, right? But then when you take this album on the road and you decide to play a couple of deep cuts from it that maybe are more personable to you and not so much like a single per such, it's not deflating, but when you play those kind of songs, because they mean so much to you, you want them to mean so much to the people that listen to it, right?
Yeah, the way that I mean, there are a couple of exceptions on the track on the album that are very very personal memoirs,
Mm.
and probably not really left a lot of ambiguity there for listeners to sort of relate to. But we've really tried to make an effort with most of the album to make it ambiguous enough and open-ended to for people to take what they want to take from it.
Yeah.
People will and do find their own meanings when it comes to listening to music. But yeah, there are a few exceptions on the album that are just actual, just personal memoirs with very personal stories that one might listen to and go, I don't understand that.
Well, it's all up to interpretation, like you were saying. But I personally found the album heavy in romanticism, but not just in your standard love for someone else, but self love.
Oh, cool.
But that was I'm shit at lyrics. Don't take my word.
Same.
I like shit. I've been singing wrong lyrics in my own bands for a long time. So yeah, that,
Preaching to the choir, brother.
you're the singer.
I know. You literally preaching to the choir.
All right. So before we started this podcast, because I brought up the fact that yeah, I just said, oh, you're back in Australia, and you're like, what? And I said, yeah, your
Yeah.
publicist said, just came back. So all right, tell me the story. I want to know this.
Yeah, we were meant to be in South Africa over the weekend. We were so excited to go. We were playing a festival over there called Splashy Fen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and me and Zane don't live together anymore. I live on the Gold Coast, Zane lives in the sunny coast. So we kind of have to meet
In the
in the
middle.
middle when we rock up. And um, with everything going on and how busy we've been, we've just been so brain muddled lately. And we rocked up to Rocked up to the airport. We should have pre-booked parking because tell you what, when you rock up to the airport and you find there's no parking and you're an international flight,
Yep.
it's quite stressful.
Yep.
So we did a couple of hot laps of the car park and then realized we're gonna have to park off-site. So we drove onto the off-site that there's a big air park sort of thing
Mm-hmm.
outside of Brizzy Airport, which is usually fine. We've parked there many a time. But there's a shuttle bus that goes from that car park to the airport basically, and
Yep.
the bus driver pulled up and he just took one look at me and Zane with all of our gear, and he just said, "There's no way. You're not getting on. We can only take one of you at a time."
Fuck.
Which was frustrating because we've taken that shuttle bus many times with all of our equipment,
Yeah.
but we just happened to get some grumpy old bastard that night. Um,
Wow.
so he made us go individually, and then so I went on first, got to the airport. I'm on the phone to management, like freaking out. They're trying to, do damage control. They're on the phone to Zane. I'm waiting for Zane to come, and basically, yeah, just by the time that Zane had gotten there, we were too late, and I tried to butter up the
Doesn't work.
lady. It doesn't work.
No.
No, in fact, it makes it worse.
Yep.
So yeah, no, it's not a very incredibly interesting story, but it's just a bit of a teaser into how absolutely useless me and Zane are.
Yeah, given that there's only two of you, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, touring in a six-piece band's hard enough, man. But like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Um, Tip next time. Was it the Andrews parking, which is not that far from the airport? You park there,
Oh, okay,
and
right.
they basically valet you to the actual, and then they store your vehicles in like undercover parking, and it's all locked up.
Oh, wow.
And it's usually cheaper than the actual airport. Just so you know.
Well, where's that? The St.
It's,
Andrews.
I think it's Andrews parking or something like that. It's just look it up. It is like it's like 5 minutes from the airport or 8 minutes from the airport, basically.
Good to know. Yeah, I'll suss it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
it's well worth doing. Every time I've done like personal international travel or like long travel, I've always parked there. Just found it easier.
Yeah, wow. Oh, cool.
Not
Thanks
free
for
advertising
the
for
info.
fucking Andrews Chalet Valet fucking
Yeah.
services there. Wow.
Yeah, there you
Okay, so
go.
South Africa would have been a pretty epic sort of thing, though.
Mm. Yeah, we were spewing. We couldn't make it. We obviously felt horrible. We've always prided ourselves on punctuality.
Mm.
But yeah, no, we were spewing. It would have been so sick. We had a mate that was playing there as well, and we saw some stories and videos of what it looked like firsthand, and we just were spewing. Because when you get a chance to go to South Africa.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, anyway, hopefully next time. The promoters for the festival, they seem like legends.
Yeah.
They were fully understanding and
Still a bit shit
whatnot.
though.
So
But
yeah.
like to be honest with you, you just had a massive Europe tour, didn't you?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been flat pickies
Yeah.
so long.
Have you got USA in your sights?
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
We were going to tickle the toes of the USA at the end of this year, but we just didn't really get time to sort visas out and whatnot. So I think we're actually going to hit USA next year. We're going to hit it pretty hard.
Mm.
So yeah, we're very keen.
You been over
Very
there
keen.
before?
Never,
Never.
never been over.
It's another world. You might
I
think
hear,
you might think it's like here. It's nothing like here, bro.
I've heard it's just the Wild West.
uh, yes and no. I actually found them to be more conservative. I mean,
Yeah, right.
my sister lives over there, so but I actually spent time in Vegas of all places,
Yeah, yeah.
and Vegas is pretty loose. I mean, I've got fond memories of being there, and I didn't get like totally written off or anything like that because I don't do the gambling thing or anything. I just wanted to see my sister and her family and that, and my niece, and I so happened that my brother-in-law has connections over there, and I got to see Gary Clark Jr. play when he was getting big,
Oh
and
wow.
I got to see him before he played his first. This is 2012. So I saw him
Mm.
play just before he was announced for Blues Fest that year, and I saw him play in a leather shop underneath the Hard Rock Cafe,
Oh wow,
and I was like literally 2 meters away from him. It's
that's insane.
it's
That's such a yeah.
that's
That's
America
so
for you,
sick.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like that.
yeah,
You guys will be fine over there. You'll kill it. Yeah, just
yeah, yeah. Be fun. I'm very excited.
particularly West Coast would probably be right up your alley there. I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's why I think we're going to hit West Coast first. So no,
Hmm.
we're very keen. Very keen.
So how's it feel like seeing that all your album launch parties have just completely sold out, and they're not small venues too. I mean, KBT, Kings Beach Taverns, it's still like a fairly decent size, but you sold out the Triffid.
Mm.
Mm.
We're no, we're stoked. We're so stoked. It's the obviously with the cost of living right now, everything's so fucking expensive. So there's that anxiety of putting on a tour,
Uh-huh.
whether or not people are actually going to be able to afford to come to your show. So yeah, no, we were stoked that the ticket sales went so well, and we that's just an ode to our our fans and followers. Like this, just thank you so much for your support.
Mm.
You guys are fucking amazing. So yeah, it's gonna be a really cool run of shows. I'm very excited. The crew's excited. Yeah, it's gonna be good, and also too like we're playing a new fucking set list as well. So
Because you got a full band with you
yes.
with this tour.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're the launch shows we're doing. I think we're just doing a four piece,
Yeah.
and then actually for our major run we're doing a five piece.
So bass, keys, and drums, and then you and Zane.
Yes.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
Sick. That'd be a decent lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean that major run is I was looking at the dates before, and like you got the Fort Hall, which is just massive, and you got Enmore Theatre in Sydney, you got the Forum in Melbourne. Man, these are not small venues, and then you got over in New Zealand, you still got some decent ones over there too. Yonder, isn't that a festival over in Queenstown?
I
So,
don't know.
oh, you don't know.
Don't know. I haven't read the memo.
Oh man. Well, anyway, Queenstown's always fun. I always love Queenstown when I went over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But dude, just nuts with the amount of dates that you guys
Yeah.
got, and like I said, it going from just doing the two dude slog with just two guitars and the banjo or whatever, and doing your thing to playing like I've seen the footages of you guys playing these massive festivals and just people screaming the lyrics back at you, and
Mm.
it's the same as when I saw it with Ziggy, and it blows my mind that like I've known like both Ziggy for a long time and I've known you guys for a long time, and just seeing that reaction, does it feel real?
No.
Okay.
It's it's just surreal, dude. Yeah, it's we pinch ourselves every day, I suppose.
Mm.
Especially like yeah, when push comes to shove too. Like I suppose it's one of those things. Like it's super surreal. And the closer you get to the show, it just feels even weirder. Like we're this major run that we got coming on. Those rooms are like, I mean, we've fucked, dude. Like we've wanted to play Enmore for years, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We did Fort Hall last year, and that was like that was insane for the first time. Second time, it's just as insane.
Yeah.
Same with Forum as well. Like I know for a fact that when push comes to shove and we're a week around the corner from that tour, I'm going to be just
Shitting bricks.
I'm going to be a mess. I'm shitting. Absolutely.
But it's an interesting thing to see, particularly like with both like yours and Ziggy's style, this sort of singer songwriter sort of stuff, right? How it packs out rooms, and for the outside perspective, you wouldn't expect that because it's not like a full mainstream sort of sound, right?
It's funny, man. Like the I've always compared the folk scene to the punk scene.
Okay.
In terms of the demographic, like the punk and folk scene have one thing in common, and that's the fans are so culty.
I used to do the same thing with
Uh,
reggae as well.
yeah, yes, exact same thing with reggae.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, folk doesn't, I mean, I suppose like, well, in the Australian scene, folk doesn't really get a big rap in the mainstream realm in
Hmm.
Australia. Um, but it still slogs on through because there is a massive committed demographic that love folk music here in Australia.
Mm.
And to a certain degree, I don't really understand why it's not really more part of the mainstream scene in here. But I mean, irregardless though, the numbers still talk. And where the fact that you can get soloists like Zig go and pack out River Stage
Yep.
is just it's saying something. And it's awesome.
You guys aren't far from
But
that. Just to be honest with you.
I'll hold you to
Yeah.
it.
See you next year, River Stage.
That'd be lovely. I mean, I suppose, yeah, that's the goal. Hey, yeah, hopefully.
But what I've also noticed is that it's taken, like, no disrespect to Triple J, but it's taken a long time for them to actually get on board. But all of a sudden, they got on board with you, and then all of a sudden, because they said they're on board with you, it's like you're this new thing. You're like, fuck, we know you guys for a long while now. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, no, I suppose they are quite careful with which pies they dip their fingers into,
Hmm.
which for whatever reason. But that's why it's just the industry as a whole, man, like not just radio, but the industry as a whole has been it's been an upward hill.
It
Um,
always is.
Always is, absolutely, always is. But again, like it just comes back to the people that are lovely enough to listen to our music and
Mm.
caring enough to spare a couple bucks to buy a ticket to our shows. And that goes across for every other up and coming to semi-established artist as well. Like especially, we just did an interview with Hack on the Jays last week
Right.
in conversation about the Splendor
Which
cancellation.
I was going about to ask you about that. Yep.
That was a nice little segue, wasn't
Yes, well
it?
done. Not planned.
Um, and I sort of said to him, it's now it's been more important now more than ever
Mm.
that we need to band together as Australians and support Australian music, whether they are established or not. Force your friends to come to that local bar show. Go. Yeah, I saw Alex Leahy actually just put up a post.
Mm.
Might have been today or yesterday, whatever it was. And she was basically saying, pick one gig a month. Doesn't even matter if you know them or not, and just go to their show.
Yeah.
Like buy a ticket, support them. Because like at the end of the day, you might walk away very surprised. And you might go, "Oh my God, I found my new favorite artist."
Yep.
Uh, so yeah, it's yeah, it's so important that we just support live music. And I suppose that's the thing. The punters at the end of the day, the punters are what make the music industry thrive. Because without the audience, there would be no industry.
So I have a few theories of this whole like Splendor festival issue, right? Not just Splendor, because Groove in the Move's part of that as well, and so was it the New Year's Eve on the lawn, wherever it is, which was a different thing because
Mm.
they went bust. Um, I don't think entirely that's a cost of living issue. Because people are still going to gigs. I still go to gigs. I still see stuff. I don't think it's
Mm.
entirely that. I think we go in cycles of festival fatigue,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, Soundwave was a very good example of that too. I mean, it got to the point where it was super huge, and then it just bit off more than it chewed and got fucked.
Mm.
And AJ Matters basically paying for that for the rest of his life right now. But
Mm.
I mean, Soundwave was my one of my favorite festivals to ever go to because it was the one time a year I could just go hang out with a bunch of metalheads and not think about anything else but and enjoy the music and be surrounded by other like-minded people.
Yeah.
You have the rare occasions of like certain festivals outliving sort of stuff. I mean, Woodford. I think Woodford's always going to, well, not always, but it's going to be there for quite some time. But they've got some kind of weird little backing, and they're a community in their own right.
Dude, it comes. It's the Woodford Folk Festival. It's that folk scene, man. It's so
Yeah.
culty and it's like
I
strong.
mean, it's changed over time because, like, I've been there a few times, but it still has its own internal support. Whereas
Mm.
Splendor, I think they went with this particular lineup. I mean, I thought the lineup was actually pretty cool. I mean, to see Kylie there, I thought that was. I mean, some people were complaining about it, but I thought it was pretty dope. Good move. I mean, Kylie. If no one's seen Kylie, I've seen Kylie live, and she's a fucking amazing performer.
Mm.
Um, I think they were spreading too wide and also relying too heavily on certain acts that they always recycle. I mean,
Yeah.
was this the second year you guys were supposed to be playing, or the third?
First time we were on the proper lineup.
Yeah.
The first time we played, we were part of the Global Village lineup.
Yep.
Which that was fun. That was, I mean, it was the Splendor in the Mud.
Was
So
that
that was
20?
very
Was that
interesting.
22?
22, yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was the year that when like the main acts got cancelled on the main stage.
Yes.
That was the
Yeah.
same. That was the same night that Barefoot played the Beach Hotel in Byron.
Oh, loose.
Yeah, so we got all that
Yeah,
crowd,
yeah,
and I remember checking in and seeing you guys just saying that you played all these people in the mud and still had a fucking great time, but because there
yeah,
was no
yeah,
one else there, they all came to you, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
we are. Yeah, it was a funny one. We walked around with a sign, like a cardboard cutout sign in the mud and the rain, like walking around the festival, just basically saying like we're still playing um, the global stage, like 7:30 or whatever it was. Yeah, we literally did our own PR marketing campaign at the festival, just with like a fucking cardboard
Brilliant
cutout.
move because there's a lot of people that was stuck there.
It worked.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But it's a shame that it's a shame this year got cancelled. Yeah, we were really looking forward to it. We were supposed to be playing main stage.
yeah,
Um, but it's all right. So as
bro.
always,
There's gonna be other festivals like that are gonna be just as big. I mean, you guys aren't gonna be short of any festivals coming up. I guarantee you that. I know that. This is gonna be one of those
hopefully.
things. No, not hopefully. You're just one of those acts that you're gonna be fine. It sounds like I'm fucking blowing smoke up your ass, but it's just I've just got this weird fucking sense of knowing shit. All right. Um, and you guys have been doing the hard slog for a solid what half a decade now. Have to be.
Yeah, yeah. So technically, we've been playing together for the last 7 years, but original touring probably in the last 4 or 5.
Yeah. So see, I
Um,
know a thing or two.
you've done your research.
Yeah, been around long enough. I know what I'm doing. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. But I do have one last question for you, and I don't normally do this with artists, but
Mhm.
I want you to pick a rare cut from the album, something that you don't think it's just a personal one, or it's just something that stands out to you more than anything that is not a single that you reckon that should really stand out to a listener. You pick your favorite one. Which one should really stand out?
Mm.
Oh, put you on the spot there, didn't I, Paddy?
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's one of the songs that was kind of being tossed in the pot for the Focus single release for the album.
Mm-hmm.
Is a song called Trains. The train left the station,
Mm-hmm.
or Trains for
That's the
short.
second
And,
track.
second track, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Good memory.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably that's probably my favorite track, lyrically and instrumentally. I think because at the time I was listening to like a lot of Gang of Youths.
Ooh.
Um,
Okay. Yep. Which album?
yeah. I was actually listening to that Angel 8th Ave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I've always really liked Dave LePepe's poeticism. Is
Mm-hmm.
that a word?
Yeah.
Poetic lyrics.
Yeah.
Sure. Um, I've always really liked his lyricism, and for a while I've wanted to write a song that sort of was a bit of an ode to the way that he writes music, and that song is probably my attempt at doing it.
Mm.
Um, and also too, like instrumentally, it's the dynamic shift between the start of the song and the end of the song.
Yep.
Is a massive dynamic shift, and I think that the it hits hard that last bit. And so
Mm.
yeah, I think that's probably the song that comes to mind, that I'd love for people to take at least something away from it. But that's one of the tracks that I mentioned earlier, that is quite a personal song, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that written on there that it probably isn't very ambiguous. Like, so I don't know how people are going to react to that song, but instrumentally, yeah, it's probably one of my favorite tracks that we produced on the album.
I did like the feel of is it look at the stars? Is it?
Oh, Look to the Stars. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's the other track that's sort of tossed in the pot for the focus single for
Ah, okay, cool.
the release. Yeah,
Ah,
and I
pick
suppose
one.
because yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we don't know. We listen to one and it's good, and we listen to the other and it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ah, know that feeling when you go try and choose one that ties in with the launch of the album, that sort of stuff. Just go with your gut. It's the only advice I can give, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
All right, bro. I'm gonna tie this up now. You hang on the line there, and we'll have a quick debrief. But everyone else, the album "Caught in the Reverie" will be out on April 26th.
April 26th. Yeah.
April 26th, and this podcast will come out around about that time. So yeah, you should be able to check it out basically around then. If you don't have tickets to the tour, they're going pretty quickly, aren't they? I
Major
believe.
Tour's doing quite well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're still playing tickets. I mean, the rooms are quite substantial, so
Well,
there are
I'll
still
I'll
plenty of
put the
tickets.
link in with that one too, assuming that by the time this goes live that they're not sold out. But yeah, but the album launch parties, they're all gone. So yeah, if you're lucky enough to score tickets to see that one, then enjoy the Dreggs. Man, you've been a champion. Everyone else, adios. Big ups to Paddy for that one. I really hope you enjoyed this chat we had with Paddy from the Dreggs. And do check out Caught in the Reverie. And if you happen to get tickets, or haven't got your tickets yet, they're going pretty fast. So you should, if you are a big Dreggs fan. Locally, they're like Brisbane way, they're playing the Fort Hall. Just I'll put in all the tour details in this podcast. So basically, because there's too many dates. No, screw it. I'm going to list the dates. Here we go. 14th of June in Adelaide at the Hindley Street Music Hall. 15th of June, Metro City in Perth. 21st of June at Fort Hall in Brisbane. 28th of June at Enmore Theatre, which is a massive one. 29th of June at the frickin' Forum in Melbourne. 26th of July, they head over to Christchurch in New Zealand to play the Church. 27th of July, they're at U-Bar in Dunedin. 28th of July, they're in Yonder at Queenstown. 1st of August, they're at San Fran in Wellington. And wrapping things up on the 2nd of August at the Tuning Fork in Auckland. So anyone that's listening from NZ, these are your dates too. Thank you for listening to this one. I've got a few more lined up. Some more podcasts lined up pretty quickly, actually. So, actually, they're going to be before this one because I'm recording this ahead of time. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting local music, live music, Australian music, all sorts of music. You guys are legends. Bye.